Well, hello everybody. A lot of you have been asking me when are we going to see the video where you show all the goodies that you got at the Fest for Beatles Fans the last weekend of March. Well, here it is. And this is going to be long, I think. It's going to be pretty big. Quite a haul I got here. And I would ask you to, well, either zip ahead to the parts you like best, or if you're like me and you want to see everything, just get some drinks, get some breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever time it is, and settle in because this should be a lot of fun. Okay, anyway, I got a lot of stuff, all kinds of stuff, and I think the best way to begin is to say that, before I went to the actual Fest for Beatles Fans, I stopped off at a store in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. It's called Spin Me Round, and they have all kinds of goodies there. And first of all, this is what I bought from them. I didn't have the box set yet of the White Album on vinyl. So I managed to pick that up and add this to my collection. Haven't done an opening yet, obviously. While I was at the store, they gave me some freebies, and that really, really meant a lot to me. They didn't have to do that, and it was so cool of both of them to do it, the owners. Now, let's see where I begin with that. I'm going to start by showing you, if I can reach for it here, a display. And this display I'm going to show you has quite a history on my channel. It's going to warrant its own video at some point. It's a milk and honey display for the album. They gave this to me, and I thought at the time that I picked this up from them that this was a kind of standalone display, but actually it is not. It is part of a bigger display, which I have actually, but I was missing some pieces to it, and that's where the video is going to come in on its own down the line. I picked up a box that contained what I thought was the entire display of Milk and Honey at the last BEATLEFEST back in 2018, and it was not complete. It was missing, among other things, this piece. So that's pretty cool that this piece that they gave me at Spin Me Around store actually complements. It's one of the missing pieces. And I know that it was, you can't really see, but on the bottom, in the front there, you can see a couple of slots that show you that it attaches to some legs, which I have. So, but another thing that's interesting about this is, in addition to that piece, which they were so kind to give me, they also gave me this. And, they admitted it needed some cleaning. It's kind of grimy. It's all right with me. You can always clean up. But here's the funny part about it. If you look close, you can see those kind of brown age spots that are on the white portions of this display. Well, when I went home and looked at my display, I realized that one of the pieces that was in fact contained in my box was this one, which does not have the spots. So in other words, I could swipe out this one and, if that's the term, swipe out this one, put it in the other piece that they got for me. So that was really good to know. So I could put the two together. So when I was at Spin Me Round Records, now this is all before I hadn't even gotten to the Fest for Beatles Fans yet. They gave me some other freebies. I mean, here's a nice button. John Lennon, war is over, if you want it. Speaking of John Lennon, there was this, which I thought was a matchbook at first, but it is not. It's the Walls and Bridges album. And you can see there, right, Walls and Bridges. And on the back it says, listen to this mending packet. So it's actually, I think it's got thread in there and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting, kind of different. Also, among other things, they gave me this really nice keychain, which is from it looks like a promo item from the Beatles Love Songs compilation album that had come out. And that's very cool. And also this little bag here that I'll show you of assorted Beatle pins, which favor the Beatles cartoon series. So that's really nice. Thank you for this. And as I say, that's not even the BEATLEFEST. Now, let's talk on about the BEATLEFEST. When I got to the fest, I met up with a lot of my friends, and one of my good friends is Alan. Alan goes by the name here of Alan C. Records. He has a little channel here. And there was this debate a lot of times where, as you know, I say debate, not a debate, debacle is more like it. Uh, I had gotten this Egypt Station thing. You know, this is a standee that Barnes and Noble, you know, had, and I made a video on this. If you look back several months now, I tried really hard to get a hold of this stand. I went to a lot of Barnes and Noble stores, whether they said no, you can't have it, or whether they said, oh, we already shredded it and junked it, or whatever. I could not get this, but it seemed like a lot of my friends here on YouTube, wherever they lived in whatever state they were in America, they seemed to be able to get a nice full copy. This was not a complete copy. One guy at a Barnes and Noble store was very nice enough to give me this, but it did not contain the top portion. There's a top portion, you can see the two holes up there, that has a display of Paul McCartney. And my friend Alan found out about this, and he said, I got you a top. He found a top. He went to one of his stores. He was able to find just the top. And he said, when I meet you at the Fest for Beatles Fans, I will bring that top with me. And Alan certainly delivered. When I met him, there it is. That's the part I was missing. And he actually got this for me. So now the Egypt Station display is complete. So thank you, my friend. Very happy to have this. I was so afraid that Alan wasn't going to be able to make it, or he was going to forget to come to the fest, but there it is. So thank you so much for making that a complete Barnes & Noble display. All right, so now on to other stuff from the Fest for Beatles Fans. Well, I'm going to start with this shirt. You know, I went 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and when I went Friday night, I was able to pick up this shirt. It was the 40th anniversary, this year is, of the Back to the Egg album by Wings. And I picked this up Friday night in the dealer's room, and I was able to wear it Saturday. So that's a good thing about going there early. You might pick up some merchandise, maybe some t-shirts or something you can buy Friday and wear Saturday, or buy Saturday and wear Sunday. Now we're going to stick with the t-shirts for a minute. I also managed to pick this up. A really nice George Harrison shirt. Now the thing about the George Harrison shirt is, this is actually, I've seen this at a store here in my neck of the woods, but they're apparently sold out of it. I haven't seen this shirt in a long time, but I actually was going to pick it up at one point, and I did not. And but I got it at the fest. No problem. Just spend, 3 nights of hotels, 3 days of tickets, spend like, a grand or something like that, then go in and buy a shirt for $20. Good deal, right? Only $1,000, $20. All right. Now let's stick with some displays here. I got a couple of displays at the fest. You know, I love these things, countertop displays. This is a countertop display. Folds out there, for Paul McCartney's Pipes of Peace album. And that's really cool. I love that. You can see it's got the cassette tape there. Pipes of Peace. And from the same dealer, I picked up another one of those displays. But this one this is Give My Regards to Broad Street, but you'll notice it does not contain the artwork in here. That's very easy to do. All you got to do is go on eBay or something, and I'll get a hold of this artwork for here and put it inside. I believe that it says here, to convert to cassette stand-up, tear off at perforation and open easel. Now, the guy seemed to think that this has the flap here to stand up back here. He seemed to think this was part of a bigger display. I don't think so. It looks like it's just a countertop display here. But whatever it is, whether it's partial or complete, I like it. Okay, moving right along here. I get a kick out of all kinds of promotion stuff, and I love this. The Sun and the Star. This is back from the 1980s, the late 80s. Well, I think 1987, around there, 87-ish, when Ringo was promoting Sun Country wine coolers. And it's interesting because this was from the period where Ringo was still, I guess you could say, on the bottle a little bit. In 1988, he detoxed, and he's been sober ever since. So congratulations to Ringo for, not drinking and, cleaning up his act, so to speak, for 31 years now. But I always like these ads, so I picked that up, which I thought was also a lot of fun. Trying to move it kind of briskly, but not making it sound too rushed and uncomfortable. All right, now, let's see, we're going to show a little backstage pass I picked up at the Fest. This is from the Paul McCartney Summer Tour from 2004. You know, little trinkets like this are fun to have. Okay, I'm going to take a moment now here. No, I'll wait for that later. I'll show a couple more pins that I got. This one here, Walls and Bridges ad. Listen to this button. Now, I got to say also, when it comes to stuff like this, I always wonder because, a lot of this stuff is reproduced. It's not necessarily original. I'm trying to see if there's a code here. It looks like there might be. It says EMI. It says EMI Records Limited, it looks like on the side. But you wonder if these are original 1974 ads or just somebody redid them in retro style. This one looks pretty original. This is from 1976. This is an ad for Ringo's Rotogravure album. And I like odd stuff like this, stuff you don't see all the time, especially the solo albums. Okay, next up, pretty important item here. I want to preface this by saying one of the many, many, many people I met there, and again, it was so great to see all of you. So many people wanted to meet, take pictures, and talk. It was so great. Anytime you see me, if you watch my channel and you see me anywhere, please say hello. One of them is my friend, Brother Bob, 1984. Brother Bob is such a generous guy. Now, he saw me there. He was really telling me how much he appreciates this channel, and not just my channel, but Beatle Brad's and Beatle Vinyl 85, Matthew Street, everyone's channel. He says that, we're doing a good job by putting the Beatles out there and keeping the torch glowing for the Beatles, and I know what he means. A lot of people tell me that. You do this channel and you think, well, this is really a lot of fun, but you don't realize how much you're touching people. People tell you, I love watching your videos when I'm down, when I'm having a depressing day. I really like watching it. You do so much, and I thank you. Anyway, he couldn't thank me enough, and he wanted to give me a little bit of money to go up into the dealer's room and buy whatever I wanted. And I said, no, I won't have that. Look, we all like gifts. I know one time Brother Bob was nice enough to get a gift certificate sent to my favorite record store. He did that. But he wanted to give me a little bit of cash to go up there and buy. And I said, no, I won't hear of it. So I put him off. I said, no, Bob, no. Finally, I couldn't resist him anymore, and by the time we got later in the fest, he insisted, and he did. He wanted to know what I bought. Well, this is what I bought with the money that he was so nice enough to give me. So in a way, this is a gift that he insisted on that he bought for me, really. And it's a George Martin autograph, the producer of the Beatles producer. Now, this comes with a certificate of authenticity, so I know it's real. And I'm sorry about the glare, folks. A lot of you seem to manage that well on your videos, but I can't. The funny thing is, it says to Lisa on the top. And Lisa happens to be my girlfriend's name, so I figure, well, that's even more of an incentive to buy it. You could always crop out the name and just have the signature itself, but I'm going to keep it like this. So thank you, Bob, for this, really. Okay, now we're going to show, let's see, where should we go now? Let's go to a tote bag. My girlfriend comes with me to the BEATLEFEST, and along the way she picks up these tote bags. This is a really nice one. You can see the help image on there. And there's a whole bunch of goodies in here, so I think I'm going to go through these goodies and see what we got here. As I said, this is going to be a long video. Now, when I'm at the Fest for Beatles Fans, I play the trivia game. And I love playing trivia. I love playing the Name That Tune contest. And every time you go, whether you win or not, as long as you participate, for those of you who would think about it next year, you get prizes at the end of the contest. And I got this love hat. And you got one in black, one in white. Now, I have already had a few of these. I'm starting to be able to open up a hat store. I have so many of these. In fact, I had to tell Al Sussman, who gives out the gifts, Al Sussman, who's a long time excuse me, I can't think of the right word, collaborator on Beatle Fan magazine. I had to tell him, Al, no more, I don't need any more hats. Save them for other people. I don't want to get too many of these, but that was part of what I acquired at the fest. So going also into this tote bag here, at one point I got this. This was given out. It's a Cirque du Soleil. Don't know really what it is. It looks like a journal book, and it just basically has lined paper in there to write notes and things. So I managed to get that as a gift, for participating. And keeping along those lines too, at one point for playing the trivia, I got this. I'm going to take this out of here. It's again, it's a cup from the Beatles Love Show with a straw. Not going to use this. I'm probably just going to keep it in the bag it came in. But nice to have, and all just for playing the contest. And there's other things too you get for playing the contest. I'll show you those in a bit. Posters. Sometimes they give you posters, and if you win, you get even more. Here's something else. I got another copy of this they gave me for free. The Sgt. Pepper, the new version, CD. That was also given out. Nice prize. And here's something that I picked up from Lawrence Juber, formerly of Wings. The Wings. He has a lot of CDs that he sells at his table, and I have almost this whole series. I think I do. It's when he plays Beatles songs, and he was nice enough to sign this. It says, LJ can't stop playing the Beatles. And it's solo guitar. He picks out all of the Beatles music, and it's so great. And there he is with his wife. His wife, Hope, I believe. Nice photo there. And this is great stuff, folks. I got like about 4 or 5 of these CDs. He plays different Beatles songs. There's a list of some of the stuff he plays up there, if you can see that, and if you want to freeze that. They sound great, honestly, they really do. And some people will be interested to know that he met his wife a long time ago now, and I remember when she was at one of the Fest for Beatles Fans, and she was explaining how she is actually an actress who was in, you might know her from the Brady Bunch. Those of you, there was an episode where they go to a drive-in movie and there's a date in the car with Greg Brady, I believe, and everything goes wrong, and I think she plays a character called Rachel, and she gets a frog on top of her head in the car. That's who she is. So I always found that interesting. I learned that in 1982, actually. I remember first time I saw Lawrence Juber, 1982. Okay, now we're going to go to, let's see, should we do the records yet? Let's save this pile full. I'm going to show some posters now. I got some posters as well. Okay, and posters, we're going to start with this one here. Upside down. It's Run Devil Run. The new album in stores October 5. Paul McCartney's Run Devil Run. Okay, keeping up with the posters, and there are a healthy number of them here, so let's go to it. Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to open this whole one. I'll do the best I can. It's to give my regards to Broad Street, the one-sheet poster for the movie. Okay, you get the idea. There it is. I collect all things Beatles and solo Beatles. And, I like movies too. So, of course, anytime I can get a movie poster ad, that's always a benefit. Okay, sticking with the posters. Let's see, I'm going to grab the next one here and see what we got. I think we got 2 in 1 here. We'll find out in a second here. Okay, this one here is, I won this also for one of the contests that I played. I was given this poster. This is Ringo Starr Tour 2000. From the 2000 All-Star Band. And we had Eric Carmen, Jack Bruce, Dave Edmunds, Simon Kirke, Bad Company, Mark Rivera. So, another nice addition. And believe me, folks, all this room is getting a little cramped here. One day when we get our house that we intend to have several years down the line, there'll be a lot of room. I always say, this is my motto, collect now, worry about storage space later. Now this is another one. Actually, my girlfriend My girlfriend at one point actually stepped up and played a trivia contest. She didn't do too well, but she tried, bless her heart. And she won this prize, which she handed right over to me. It's Paul McCartney. And I got to say, I think that's, no offense to Paul, Sir Paul, but I don't like that look for Paul. I mean, that's obviously, it's not well dyed, that particular hair job. And it's kind of, that little boy look. I'm not really wild about that little boy haircut. But you can see it's, oops, the animation collection. Okay, so I'm just going to roll these up now, and we're going to continue. Next, I'm going to show some vinyl. We haven't seen any vinyl yet. Let's get to some vinyl. All right, we'll do that in a second here. Starting off with a couple of 45, shall we? First in line here, we have. Sorry about the train noise out here. We have Paul McCartney's Tug of War. This is a really nice UK single, and I like that picture very much. So, next up we have a French 45 from John Lennon, and it's Number 9 Dream, backed with the song What You Got, which is nice. And there's the Apple single with the star on it. Okay, keeping in line with the vinyl now for a while. Here's Flowers in the Dirt. This is the archive edition. This is one that I did not have. I was all panicked because I said to somebody there, I don't remember who, I said, I hope I don't have this already, because I was able to pick this up there for cheaper than usual. And then when I got home, thankfully, I looked at my collection. I do not have this yet. You know, this happens when you get a lot of stuff and you get older. It's hard to remember every little thing that you have. Next up, I'm going to show you a few in the Japanese flag series collectibles. Now, these are records that I used to have in my original collection. You know, in the 1970s, when I was very, very young. I used to buy these at the local TSS, Times Square record store. And at the time, they were $15 to $20 each, which was a lot in 1977. But anyway, I'm starting to collect these again. And here's some of them that I picked up. This is the Beatles for sale. You can see they wrote the prices on here, $40. Now, $40 may seem like a lot, but they're really not. These things are going are pretty high these days, $100 and better. So to see these for $40, I snatched them up, and you know, they have these inserts inside, Japanese inserts. Here's the revolver one. You know, I like these with the obi. And the reason, you know, there were so many different collections in Japanese, and the reason why I'm actually sticking with this particular one is for nostalgia reasons. I remember buying these in the 70s. This is the only Japanese series that I'm collecting, the flag series as they call them. So these are the ones that are dear to my heart. Also managed to get Abbey Road in the flag series. Now the last one up for the flag series, I took it out of the wrapping because I wanted to show you. It's a gatefold. It's Meet the Beatles, and I didn't, you know, I wasn't sure. I mean, maybe I've seen other people's videos, maybe Fit to be Tie-Dyed Paul, maybe I've seen his, but this has a gatefold, which is why I took it out. And when you open it up there, you can see also what's in the inside. You know, you got like this black inner sleeve, and now this one here, plastic, you can see the actual record labels, the Apple. But this opened up to a gatefold, which I thought was nice. And even though it opens to a gatefold, it also has lyric sheet to it. Okay, so I really thought this was cool to have a Meet the Beatles, and I'm going to try to get this entire series, as I said. I really like it, and it brings back memories of when I used to collect that series. Now, next up, I've got a couple of bumper stickers. I mean, like I said, we got everything here. Bumper stickers, vinyl, posters, keychains. We got everything here. Displays, countertops. This one here is Ringo Starr, Stop and Smell the Roses, bumper sticker, really nice. It says 1981 Boardwalk Records. This is also cool, but I don't, you wonder if this is original from 1970. I don't know. George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. It's a cool bumper sticker. I really don't know for sure if it's, vintage or not, but it's nice. Okay, so what else can we possibly show? We've showed everything. Buttons, records, posters, displays. Well, let's show sheet music. I got a couple of pieces of sheet music here. I've had enough. Wings, this is really nice. And, at the Fest for Beatles Fans in 2019, all these guys were here. Lawrence Juber, Denny Lane, and Steve Holley. So that's really nice. Nice shot. Also picked up Arrow Through Me, sticking with the Back to the Egg theme from the 40th anniversary this year. And of course, that's a picture from the video for Baby's Request, not Arrow Through Me, but. Along the way, when you're at the fest, you pick up advertisements. Here's some here. This is advertising the Beatles channel on Sirius XM. I picked up a few of these. Just pick them up, keep them. Who knows? Maybe these will be at the BEATLEFEST 20 years from now for $50. I doubt it. But I'm going to give a plug to somebody here. I'm going to be doing this more as the date arrives. If you're interested, there's going to be a Beatles Blast in 2019. And Brian, my friend Brian, came over and, gave me these and was asking me if I'd like to promote this and if I'd like to come. And it's in Staten Island, starring the Blue Meanies. I almost said Moonies. The Blue Meanies and guest performers. Special guest Ken Dashow. Some of you know Breakfast with the Beatles with Ken Dashow. Celebrating the 50th anniversary of Abbey Road, okay, at the historic St. George Theater. Tickets are on sale now, apparently, at the St. George Theater box office. So look that up, and I'll try to attend myself. I think the date is, what's interesting is there's no date on here, I don't think, but I think, it is, I'm sorry, June 1st, of course. June the 1st. So, and, so many interesting little Beetle bags, What are you gonna, you can't bring it. You don't really need these, but you're like, why am I gonna throw this out? It's cool. Oh, one thing I haven't shown yet are autographs. Let's show a couple of autographs. Well, Jack Douglas, the producer on the Double Fantasy album, was at the fest, and I was able to get his autograph. I decided to get his autograph on the back here. I don't know why. I just thought, it feels more like New York and John and Yoko together hanging out on the street. I had Jack sign the back rather than the front. So, also Alan White, who drummer for Yes, former, early Yes, I think. And he played on some solo Beatles stuff too, including Instant Karma. So I had Mr. White sign that because I love that song, and I think his drumming is fantastic on Instant Karma. So I had a little picture sleeve 45 signed. And of course, let's not forget, I keep talking about the Wings Men. And here they are, the guys from Wings, one of my favorite albums of Paul's. And you have Lawrence Juber up here, Denny Lane over there, and Steve Holley down there. So I've had their autographs all before, but this is my favorite Wings album. It changes, but most of the time this comes to the top. And I just wanted to have their signatures against the black background with, silver pen. I thought that would be really nice. Okay, we're almost done, but we got a few more. I met Record Rabbit, Jeff, there. He's a viewer of my channel, and he brought some gifts for me. He's living in Japan. So he actually got me some ads here where you see Paul and, the Japanese advertisements. And for those that are enjoying things like this, I'm just going to open it up because there are others in here too. There's the White Album ad. Imagine. I really like stuff like this. Thank you so much, Record Rabbit. And of course, you have the Europe set, and Paul McCartney and Wings, the big set there that I did not get because I just didn't have that kind of money at the time to get them. And there you go, Wings Wildlife and Red Rose Speedway. Okay, so Bruce Spicer. Everybody know Bruce Spicer? I haven't shown a book yet, have I? No. So let's do that. Bruce Spicer was there, and I picked up the Beatles' White Album and the launch of Apple. This is a new Bruce Spicer book. Do not have it yet, so I picked it up. And just one random picture. Ta-da! There we go. That's the latest in his series of books. And we got 3 items left, so let's do it here. These are billboard ads. You know, Billboard magazine in the day had a lot of really good ads, and you can make them frameable. I mean, this has some poster board on the back. Here's an ad for Ringo Starr. Apple Records presents an album from Ringo Starr, Sentimental Journey. Advertising Ringo's 1970 album. These are really cool. Like I said, I love promotional stuff. I love ads. I love stuff like that. This one I really like because I'm a fan of the old horror movies, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman. And this is the back of Boogaloo picture sleeve ad, but what's interesting, it says another monster from Apple. So I like the monster Frankenstein connection there. And there's that. Looks like this is the last item, and I really hope I didn't forget anything. This is the last item. It's another Billboard ad, and it's from the song Oh My My. Look at Ringo, cartoon of Ringo up there. It says Oh My My. Soon to be Ringo's 3rd #1 gold single from his platinum album Ringo, produced by Richard Perry. Well, I don't believe Oh My My made it to #1, but from this album, Your 16 and Photograph made it #1. But they were hopeful. Well, that's it, folks. And I did go over a half an hour, so for those of you who stuck with me, thanks. And for those of you who didn't stick with me but just zoomed through, thanks. I had a lot of fun doing this. I had a lot of fun attending the fest. And I'd like to hear your comments and what you thought of what I showed. Take care, everybody. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening.